everyone sees the Instagram side of things with me, or even family members. They see it and they go, "Oh, look at him," but they don't see I don't like to say the dark side of it, but the flip side of it, where the amount of work that goes in, all the stuff that we have to do to make like the Instagram look good per se and things like that.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast Chatzzz. And we've got a very, very special guest today. Ish, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Adam.
So, just finished a shoot today down in London. How did you find it?
Yeah, good. Yeah, second one we've done. Enjoyed it as much as the first. In fact, I felt a bit more relaxed with this one, so I must be getting used to it.
Yeah, no, you're doing good.
Yeah.
So, I briefed you about 10 seconds before the podcast.
Not much notice.
Right, 3 facts about yourself. What we're saying, break the ice, let the viewers and the listeners get to know you a bit, start off with.
I don't want to go down the old cliche of my star signs dish.
All the hippie shit.
Yeah, I suppose it is going to sound cliche now. Like going out to restaurants. I'm a new dad, so loving being a family man and being a father and a husband, and love being a business owner.
Yeah. So what kind of restaurants and stuff do you like going out to? I know we went out to a nice burger place before, didn't we? Yeah.
So look, burger joints are always a go-to of mine. Like an Italian, like a Chinese. As much as I grew up, obviously I'm Turkish, so I grew up all kebab houses and things like that. Do like a good Turkish restaurant. Yeah, but it all depends on the mood. So there's nothing specific. If I had to say, as I was saying earlier, burger's probably the one that I could repeatedly have in the week. Yeah. But there's no specific one that I'd pick over the other, whatever the mood fancies. Yeah,
that's cool. It's like I was saying to you earlier, up in Cumbria and Carlisle, there's literally no choice at all. It's like McDonald's or Nando's, that's all you've got. So, yeah, you're lucky down here. And then...
At least you got those.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
And then you said a family man then. So, recently had a baby, haven't you?
Yeah.
How old now?
He'll be 9 months this month,
yeah. Crazy. Yeah, because when we first started talking, it's like 6 months, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so, yeah. What's that like, becoming a dad? Because that's one thing I'd like to do in the future, but not for a few years now.
You know what? Unreal is what I'll say. Every day I wake up, it's like a blessing, seeing my son. I used to be very much as many hours I can at work, as many days as I can at work, Saturdays included, if it'd be Sundays. And not because I would be neglecting home life or anything like that, but now I've got a different direction where, it comes to a cut-off in the day and it's like, I just want to go home now to see my family. And not because I wasn't a family man before, but just, I don't know, just being a dad just changed something, a switch has been flicked where it's like, I just want to go home now.
Yeah, I find it mad because like some of my friends have had babies and it's like, you've created that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like literally out of nothing and it's just there and it's yours and you have to look after it.
Yeah.
And like that relies on you to live and breathe and everything like that is crazy.
Yeah, it's going to sound crazy, but there's days where I sit down and just look at him and just stare.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're mine, I created you.
Yeah. I bet he's grown up so fast.
Tell me about it. He's getting personality now where he knows, like, when I walk in the house, for example, when I'm leaving, he gets upset. If I said bye to him, or when I've walked in and if I'm going straight to the toilet, for example, because be on the train and stuff, he starts getting into a bit of a like, no, let's go. Why you not said the loads to me, So, and that's amazing. Obviously it's great. Like my wife's always said, getting greeted by your wife, but getting greeted by a child as well. That's it's another feeling.
Gives you like an extra kind of like purpose and drive, I'd imagine as well.
Yeah, massive.
I always admire, like, say, people like you with families and stuff. I think having a business myself, it's easy because I just have to worry about myself, you know what I mean? And I can be selfish and that kind of thing. Whereas if you've got like a family and kids and stuff, you've got responsibilities and stuff. And if you take a risk, it's like not just you.
No, yeah. Definitely, I have to definitely be a bit more calculated now where I can't just be a gung-ho approach and go, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I have to think of, hang on, if something does happen, it's not just affecting me, it's affecting the two people I've got. So.
That's crazy, yeah. And then, obviously you said about the business, we'll talk about that later, I think. But then, what were you like growing up then? As a little Ish? What did you enjoy doing? What would your parents say about you as well?
I was mad into wrestling.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
WWE?
WWE.
Yeah.
I was a huge fanatic growing up from it in school. And even now, to this day, like, I'll flick on and see what's going on and stuff. WrestleMania just happened on the weekend.
Yeah,
and
did The Rock beat Roman Reigns?
No, so The Rock was involved, but it ended up Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But it was just crazy because you had like The Undertaker come back out, John Cena was out, and it's just like, you know, if I was fully invested back into wrestling, I probably would have cried seeing all of that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was crazy on wrestling growing up. School was kind of normal, and then started working in the watch and jewellery trade when I turned, just as I was getting on to the age of 19.
Yeah. Is that what you always wanted to do then, or was there anything you wanted to do when you were
I actually wanted to get into wrestling, believe it or not, but I just didn't know how to, didn't know about it. So, and because it was WWE in America, you think, how are you going to do that sort of thing? So, whereas I think now there's actually schools in the UK where you can do professional wrestling and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, it just ended up kind of going into just like work mode of find the job. I'd always liked jewellery and watches, but never did I think it would be Pateks and that sort of stuff, you know. I think in one of the reels that we've done, it was me and an Armani watch thinking. And and just, you know, like from there, like I said, Ernest Jones, and then from there, Watches of Switzerland, and then pre-owned market, and my own company.
Yeah. So how did you get that first job then? 'Cause obviously, like, coming out of school, if you didn't know what you wanted to do apart from wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Literally printed off a load of CVs, went to a shopping centre in North London and handed my CV in anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, I wasn't fast. I just wanted to work. You know, and some money. And gave it into a jewellers, and they called me back for an interview, and also liked what they heard. It was a great blag that I found.
I was going to say, can you remember the interview? What did they ask you? What did you say? Must have been decent.
I think it was just stuff like, you know, mainly like customer service related, you know, questions of, you know, if you're in this sort of a scenario, what happens, and just kind of like, you know, safety questions, things like that. And then, like I said, the manager of the branch called me back about a week later and said he got the job.
Really?
And that was that.
I think me and Yanni were talking about this the other day. Was it yesterday? About like interviews. Could you imagine going for a job interview now?
Well,
like, I don't know. I don't know what I'd say. I don't know what I'd do.
I couldn't. I mean, if you get an interview, I mean, I don't think I could go. And actually, not to sound bad or anything, like not in a disrespectful way to anyone that is employed, but to go and be employed again, I think I'd find that very hard.
Yeah, but I think there's so many ways to make money these days, especially like with your phone and your laptop and stuff. If you've got the right mentality or outlook, I think you'll find a way if you've got the right work ethic. Whereas me personally, I think like school is like channeled into like go to sixth form and then go to uni and then get a job, because that's like the way the system is, isn't it? Whereas if you go a bit against it, it's, I don't know, it's a lot harder, obviously, but
I definitely think, like my son, for example, if and when he hopefully obviously goes to school, things like that, I always encourage him to do well. But if he decides that after GCSE year, school's not for him, it's, I mean, no way when I'll be looking at him going, you're a failure because you've not gone to uni or you've not gone to college or anything like that. Because I mean, I didn't go university or anything like that. And I would not put that pressure to make him feel like a failure or anything. I don't think you need to in this day and age. I think 25, 30 years ago, where jobs were maybe more limited, technology was more limited, it was important to find a good career, you know, accountant, lawyer, doctor, etc. But now, you know, there's people that make more than those industries.
way more,
doing, you know, stuff like YouTube and all that.
You can make money on TikTok these days, can't you?
So, you know, so I think the whole world's kind of, the whole schooling is like the whole schooling industry has changed. And like you said, the whole, you know, it's more of a system now just to, I want to say, kill off dreams to people and things like that. But when you're in school, they're teaching you stuff that is just really relevant.
Yeah, I'm going to fuck up this quote so badly, but it's something like being employed or like being paid every month a salary is the way that you get your dreams killed, but then you're still working towards somebody else, achieving somebody else's dreams. Something like that.
Similar,
I've butchered that quote up so badly, but like that kind of thing.
I know what you mean.
Which I think is so true, because The reason I asked you what you wanted to do when you were growing up, is like, say for me, I wanted to be a footballer, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone did. And then like an architect at one point, so like Sims and building houses, and then personal trainer, and then like events promoter. But I went to uni and did like hospitality management. I don't use that now, you know what I mean? And what we do now, nobody asks me if you've got a degree in marketing, whatever. You just kind of like work it out. And if you're good, then you put the work in. Then you do all right, I think, isn't it? But yeah, I think it's not for everyone though. I think people think it's easy, don't they?
Yeah.
And they just see with the watches or travelling about and stuff. But
everyone sees the Instagram side of things with me, or even family members. You know, they see it and they go, "Oh, look at him," you know. But they don't see I don't like to say the dark side of it, but the flip side of it, where the amount of work that goes in, or the stuff that we have to do to make like the Instagram look good per se and things like that. You know, it's not all glamorized. It's hyped up to be.
Yeah, and it's easy to, I think, even for me, it's easy to showcase like the good bits, but then like say if we lose a client or we get bad results and stuff, then you have to do that. Or like say if you get a watch and you lose money or watch something, like you don't tell people that really dear, to be honest. You just show people like the best bits, because that's the nice bits and stuff like that. So yeah, so what was your first job like then? Was it what you expected, what you'd hoped for?
No, it was so first, like when I was at Ernest Jones, it was a lot of fun. It was a very different industry as well back then. You know, obviously now the way that the industry is, it's very focused on like the whole investment and flex culture, whereas back then it was very much, do me a deal on that and I walk away with it. You know, that, and when the very first day I was meant to have all this training, and something happened with the management team, and then suddenly couldn't have this training, and it was just like, here's your keys, go on the shop floor, and I didn't have a Scooby what was going on, what I'm looking at. And the customers coming up to you going, can I buy them pair of earrings and window, please? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're looking at.
19-year-old boy.
These ones, okay, cool. And she's looking, the lady's looking at me to tell me about these earrings, and I'm just reading it off the plaque there. Oh yeah, they're silver, they're CZs. Well, they're 75. Oh yeah, they're 75 pounds. Okay, yeah, cool, I'll take them. Yeah. Now what do I do? I've been shown how to put this through the till system. Everyone's dealing with their own customers. And then obviously slowly you work it out. And then you start learning about the watches and or something.
What did you enjoy about the watches per se? Was it automatic? Did you get drawn to the watches? Or
it was always like just looked more fun than watches. I mean, I was already kind of into sort of watches anyway, but not obviously the higher end stuff. Yeah. And then I suppose it was when one of my managers at the time, because we had Cartier in the store and Rolex, and they were like, you can't touch either of these brands. You're not allowed to go near the window. Yeah. If someone wants to inquire, you've got to come and get one of us that is qualified. And I'm one of those, when you say to them you can't do it, find it more.
Yeah,
100%. What do you mean you can't do it, And I remember the one, and because I hadn't had actual training yet, to go through the motions of learning about the brands and what it's all about. I remember one particular day, this guy and his kid were walking through, and I just saw them kind of like hovering outside the Cartier display for a good while, and I just kind of went and said hello. And we were short staffed, so no one was kind of noticing what I was doing. I got in and picked out these two Cartiers for this guy to have a look at, and he bought one.
No way.
Like, okay, I'll take this one. And I'm like, I'm running to the back, go on the manager. I was like, this guy was buying this Cartier. What do I do? She's like, you're not out training yet. And I'm like,
I'm fucking selling one. Yeah.
I'm on. See a bigger picture here. And and then obviously shortly after that, I got sent to do my training, and then I was, qualified to sell the brands. But
it's mad, that, isn't it? How you have to be qualified to sell a watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think for them it was all upholding that whole prestige, and because once you'd finish, you'd get a little Rolex pin.
Feeling special.
Up until that point, I'd only had a little G for Gucci.
I could sell the Gucci, and that was it.
So it was a lot of fun. The one thing I can say with this career that I've been very blessed to be in is that I stumbled upon it by chance, and it's been very fun. It's had its slow moments, don't get me wrong.
Like everything that.
But it's had very nice moments, like very nice people I've met, customers, clients I've got. And very blessed with people I've had over 20 years.
Yeah. How do things kind of progress from there then after that first job?
So from there, you start hearing about watches of Switzerland. Yeah. Because if you're into your watches, you then hear about watches of Switzerland being like this, at the time, calling it like the mecca of watches. And you're like, okay, what's this one about? It's just a place that just does watches. Yeah. In my eyes, I'm like, wicked, I'm about to sell jewellery, just watches.
And a bit of that. Yeah.
You know, and basically how that came about was I moved to branches in Ernest Jones a couple of times, and with each brand of the watches, you get their sales reps that come in and talk to you. And I got friendly with all of them. And there was a lady called Julie who used to be the brand rep of a brand called Raymond Vale, and I'd moved out to the Wood Green branch in North London. She used to hate coming to Wood Green because it's not like it's out in the central areas that she's used to doing.
Yeah.
And she'd be on the phone, Ish, you know, I'd love to come and see you, but I'm really busy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, wanting to go for like management positions in Ernest Jones, I was getting blocked, and so I just started looking elsewhere. I called Julie up, and I was like, Julie, is there anything going? Because I'm not getting anywhere with here. And she was like, I've just spoken to someone today from Watches of Switzerland at the Royal Exchange in the city. This is in 2006. They're looking for someone. They'll call you later.
No way.
The manager, Sandy, called me. We couldn't pick a day for me to leave work and go for an interview. So I ended up leaving work after work one day and went to his house.
No.
Front room.
What?
Yeah, done the
That's
interview.
mad.
Yeah, done the interview in his front room. He gave it there's more people I need to interview, so I'll let you know.
Oh, that was spiel.
9 a.m. next morning, yeah, you got the job.
No way.
Like, yeah.
That's so cool. It's worth it then. You're going to his house.
Yeah. So, and like,
If he said no, you'd be like, I know where you live. I'm going around.
and so yeah, started at Watches of Switzerland, and yeah, exactly like what I thought it was going to be, just pure watches. A massive shift in clientele.
Yeah.
You know, it went from customers, for example, and I don't like to use this word, but customers and clients.
Yeah.
Customers is someone that you buys and you might not see again. The client is repeat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, so all of a sudden it was like, Mr. Davidson coming in, who's already bought 5 watches this year already, and he's about to pick up his 6th one, and we're only in July.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. That's a client, yeah.
A new watch launches or drops. I know someone that might be interested in that. Oh, Mr. Clark. Somebody's just landed on my desk. You need to come and see it. Comes in, that's beautiful. So I'm like, how much? Oh, do me with it, you know. And then you do a little
relationships,
yeah, and then he buys it and walks away with it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where obviously I got introduced to. At that point, I knew about Rolex, Cartier, Omega, Breitling, but then suddenly you're introduced to Patek, Vacheron, Breguet, Blancpain,
Different though, yeah.
Jaeger,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, info overload.
Yeah,
You know,
literally.
for me, I loved it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, you know.
Yeah. How old
and
were you then?
I was there for 4 years.
Yeah, how old were you?
I was, God, how old was I? I think when I moved there, I think I was about 22.
22, yeah.
Yeah, 22.
See, that's so young, isn't it? You're so like excited and full of energy, and that is so cool.
Yeah, buzzing working there. And also they'd send you out to trip to Geneva.
Really?
Factory visit, you know, some crazy nights. Because obviously it's all put on by the brands. Some like crazy nights where you're like, you know, the alcohol's just flowing completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And in 2010, my head got turned to the pre-owned market.
Yeah.
And an independent guy who's setting up a shop on Liverpool Street approached me and said, do you want to come and work with me? I said, yeah, cool, let's do it.
Why do you think you were ready to change then? It's like you say, Watches of Switzerland sounded like it was cool, like loads of
do you know what? It
experiences.
came down to the whole like career path.
Okay.
I was trying to get up the ladder, kept getting blocked or giving bullshit excuses.
Is that what was important to you then, the career and progression, that kind of thing?
I think it was a bit of that, bit of money motivation as well. You know, you're kind of like stuck on the same sort of wage, and you know you're outperforming everyone.
Yeah.
Prime example, I went for an assistant manager's position. You know, and you just, I don't know if she's ever happened, but I left that interview knowing that I've got this.
Yeah.
No one else is beating me.
Yeah.
And not to sound arrogant, but I just knew that I've...
Yeah. Got to be confident in your own ability.
Yeah.
100%.
Got a call 2 weeks later. You was the best candidate by a mile. Fantastic. Great. When do I start? Oh, we can't give it to you. We've got to give it to such and such person from another branch.
Well, because you've been there longer.
Internal politics, basically. Long story short, something about, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
You can say whatever. If you're saying you're on edit out, yeah.
She was fucking shagging one of the managers or something like that. So I had to move her out of that branch into the branch that I was meant to be going. But if you want the job in 6 months, it's yours. Really just fucking stabbing me in the face now, do you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck this. I was like, I'm out, and I basically, that's why I entertained the other guy approaching me.
So how did you know him then? Just from contacts?
So he had a member of staff that used to come into us to order like straps and booking repairs and things like that. So I got chatting to her, and she asked me one day, would you ever leave? And at that point I was a bit grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. And he goes, oh, he's looking for someone sales guy to come in. I was like, yeah, give him my number. So I went, had a chat, like what I was hearing, left Watches of Switzerland, started there in September 2010.
Yeah, first taste of the pre-owned market then, yeah.
Very different.
In what sense?
Very different in the sense of when you work for an AD, it's Ish, this cup is £45, go and sell it. So all of a sudden, you bought this cup at £45, then I'm bringing it back to Ish and go, Ish, I'd like to sell this cup back to you. How much would you give me? So I now need to work out what this cup is now worth, you selling it back to me, and then I've got to still go and resell it.
Yeah.
Whole different ball game.
I was going to say, yeah, literally.
Whole different ball game.
So long of being in that kind of thing too.
4 years of like, just giving to you, go and sell it, giving to you, go and sell it. To all of a sudden, a client calling me going, Ish, I've got a Rolex Submariner, how much would you give me? And me going to the boss, how much we're going to give? And he's going to go, well, I need more info. Box and papers, age, condition, when was the last serviced? Doesn't need a polish. Is the glass okay?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Is it real? Authentic?
Yeah. Do you know, who did you buy it from?
Yeah.
You know, all of this stuff, and all of a sudden you're like, it took me a good while to grasp, probably a couple of years of bedding in and like actually to find out what the hell the pre-owned side's all about. But then, yeah, once I obviously got my hands on it, then it was, started to take off again. And then I left there in 2017.
So they're a good 7 years, yeah?
Yeah, 7 years. Bought a load of clientele over from Watches of Switzerland. Not that I called them up on the day I was leaving, saying, I'm leaving, I'm going here. The city's a small place, so got around quickly. I've gone down the road.
Yeah, relationships.
And back then, I could get you a discount on any Rolex, bar the Daytona.
Yeah.
So Submariners, 20% off. So quickly, it got around that Watches of Switzerland will charge you full price. But because we were still in Europe, I could get discount from the ADs in Europe.
Yeah.
And they'd bring in watches like that, send them to the clients that way. So, yeah, I was there till 2017. And then I went to work for a guy in Hatton Garden.
Famous Hatton Garden.
Who was looking for someone. He had someone that was working with him for 20 years that left, that decided to do their own thing. He knew about me, offered me some money that I couldn't say no to. And that was that. And then COVID happened.
Yeah. What's Hatton Garden actually like then day to day? Because I see it on TikTok all the time and it seems absolute carnage.
Yeah, I mean, look, what they show you is probably the carnage side of it, but it's not as, it's depending on the day what happens. But if you're like tucked away in an office, you're not going to see much. But if you're like street level, you're going to see a lot. So if you're based in a shop, you still might not see much. But if you're in the infamous arcade, for example, where there's, I think, 65 odd traders in there, it does look like rabbit in headlights. Like, what the fuck is going on? The watches being changed left, right, centre. There's, this guy's shouting here, that guy's shouting there, this person's saying that, this, I'm trying to look at this watch and there's someone over me shouting to this guy, how much for this watch? You think, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? So to a type of clientele that's not used to that can be very like, this ain't for me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But there's some people that love it.
The hustle and bustle, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do people pick like a dealer to go to? If there's 65 in that arcade, then how does it work?
It always comes down to trust.
Is it? Yeah.
If you can feel like you can trust that person, you'll do the deal with them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm not the cheapest guy or whatever out there, but people come to me because they trust me.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's like the relationships, trust, value for money, customer service as well, isn't it? They'd rather pay a bit more if something does go wrong, that they can rely on you to fix it or rectify it in whatever way.
Exactly that.
So then COVID happened, the famous COVID. It's a massive pivotal point in most people's lives, isn't it?
Yes. I don't think COVID didn't happen, I wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have started Tempus, and I'd still be happily working in Hatton. Nothing bad to say about the guy that I previously was working for. It was always in me, I wanted to try out and work for myself.
Did you always want your own business?
Yeah, but up until him, I'd always worked in shops, and I knew the cost of running a shop, and that scared me. It was like, where am I going to get that sort of money to even open a shop? And because the guy in Hatton Garden was office based, it gave me the idea, like, hang on, maybe I don't need a shop, because people will come and see me regardless. So I've got clients from Watches of Switzerland that shop with me still today, and I've just come to wherever I've been.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, as long as it's in the UK and relatively London based, they're just going to come to it again anyway, or just get on the phone and go on, I'll have it, just ship it to me.
Yeah.
So after I gave my notice in to him, just shortly after, like, I formed the company in July 2020. For about 6 months, kind of like done stuff in the background, And then start of 2021, I said to him, look, I'm out basically. And nothing against you. This is just something I've got to do for me and try it and see if I can, make something of this.
Raw.
And I'm glad I did.
Yeah. What was the first day like then when you handed your notice in? And first day, because obviously you'd been employed all that time, wouldn't you? To then first day.
It was.
So obviously you'd been doing bits and bobs in the background.
It was coming to a head anyway. It was, imagine like, when you're stretching a piece of elastic, there's going to come a breaking point.
Yeah.
That was happening in a way because, he'd be wanting me to do stuff and I was just going the other way. And then when I'd made up my mind that this is what I'm going to do, he hit me with Ish, like, do you still want to work here? Or should I be finding someone else? And I know for a fact he wasn't expecting the answer that came afterwards, which was, I think you should find someone else. Yeah. Somehow, basically. Here's my month's notice. And to be fair to him, he let me work a month's notice and told me to fuck off there and then. Yeah. And that was that. But I'm still in touch with him more. Like,
that's good, yeah. Leave on good terms, yeah.
Very, like, nothing bad to say at all. Someone I respect highly. Like I said, this was just something that I needed to do this and try it for myself. And
how did it go to start then?
So at first it was like, right, we need an office where we're going to where we're going to locate. Could have stayed in Hatton Garden, but my clients are from Hatton. My clients were all based in the city. So Watches of Switzerland 2006 was a city branch. That's where the hub of my clients started off from. And obviously when I was pre-owned, 2010 to 2017, it was still in the city. So it just made sense to be back here. Yeah. And just looking around at offices and stuff. Went to a place down the road and they actually recommended here. And my budget suited here. This isn't the first office was a broom cupboard. Yeah. But got to start somewhere. And literally started because it was still during sort of COVID. I remember the first day, I think I was probably only one of only 3 people up here.
Really?
And just thinking, have I made the right choice?
Yeah, out in the back of your head,
And then obviously, you start selling a few bits, a few trade deals, a few clients come and see you, then just kind of things just start happening. And then second office happened, larger office, and then, taking on a few members of staff who regrettably didn't work out, but trying to expand.
No, it's cool. What's it actually like day to day for you? Because as a watch dealer, as a watch trader, and I always say
no day is exactly the same. Yeah. You have a kind of plan, like, okay, get to work, and you're kind of like, okay, let's do some social media, any new stock, get that on the website. But then the phone can ring from anywhere. It might be a client from abroad, client up in Scotland, client from down south, suddenly needs something, wants something. That could be a new person that's seeing, I actually had someone that saw one of the TikTok videos and sold me 3 watches.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, it could be anything. All of a sudden it's, we're looking a bit short on stock. Just go and see if we can find some stock today. Yeah. I might be up in Hatton Garden for 3-4 hours trying to negotiate with dealers up there, trying to buy their stock at a trade price or do a part exchange with one of them or something like that. So, it varies day to day.
So fun and games. Is it what you expected it was going to be, like being self-employed? Because obviously you were employed for such a long time. Is it making that transition? Was it as easy or more difficult, or
I'd say
different what you expected?
I'd say easier to get deals done. Because before it was like, it's not my business, so I can only go to X on a cost of something, and then the boss might say no. Yeah. And then the deficit deal's dead in the water, then the guy's not budging, he's not budging.
And you look like a bit of a dick, don't you, as well,
Yeah. Whereas with me, it's like, well, go on and do it. Yeah. If it works, it works. I can, it doesn't make it not. Go again. Certain watches you can't replace, like, they're real rarity, so you try and, like, maximise as much as you can. But your run-of-the-mill stuff, it's like, well, you can always get another one. Yeah. You got potential to get a repeat client here. Sell it, go again.
Yeah, definitely. And what kind of watches do you sell mainly to your clients, and what typically they come to you for? If people are watching this and they're thinking, I want to watch stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I do all sorts of watches, obviously mainly Rolex, but I cater to all. So whether your budget's a couple of grand, 1K, 2K, 3K, to whatever you want, the good thing with me is we can sit down and talk about what watch is right for you. And I'd rather always sell you the right watch for you rather than you breaking the bank. You've got the watch that you think you've wanted, but you're having baked beans on post-it notes.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? So
I feel like lots of people do that though these days, don't they? For the, like say the flex culture. Yeah. And it's like you got a 10 grand. Well, I've only got my Whoop band on, but 10 grand watch on your wrist, but then like literally,
Yeah, I remember a few years back in the shop I was working in Liverpool Street, and we offered finance, and this uni student came up with his girlfriend and his best friend from Bournemouth to buy a gold Submariner. Because we were offering finance, he wanted to take the finance out. He got declined on the finance, got his girlfriend to take the finance out in her name, but they'd only give her X amount on the finance, so he was still short like 4 grand. Turned to his best mate, begged his best mate to give him his student loan of 4k, promise I'll pay you back. And I remember saying to him, like,
you sure?
No biggie, like don't worry, one day you'll get this. No, I have to have it now. Anyway, I'm a sales guy, I'm on commission, so I'm not thinking too much. If this is what you want, it's what you want. And his best mate was like, they were arguing. In the end, his best mate said, okay. And he's walked away with the watch. And I was just thinking, like, you've literally not got a penny to your name right now.
Yeah. But you got a gold sub. That's crazy, isn't it?
And that's why I kind of noticed, like, the flex culture kind of creeping in.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I don't know. People just care too much about Instagram, don't they? Like, how they look. Yeah. How they look to people that don't actually care about them at all. Yeah. Rather than just care about the people around you and stuff and what they think. Yeah. But I don't know, it's an interesting one. Yeah. What are the plans then for this year, would you say, for Tempus Lord? Anything exciting in store?
This year for Tempus is just to carry on how we've been doing. Yeah. You know, don't want to be one of those where we I would like us to be a company that just gradually improves every year on year. Yeah, grows at a nice pace. Yeah, a sustainable company.
I was going to say, sustainable, isn't it? Because I feel like a lot of people just want to go like straight up, don't they? And then it's like, how do you actually cater for that? And then just come shooting back down.
There's a lot of guys in my industry that just go from 0 to 100 overnight, and you're like,
and they're gone.
And
so you've seen a lot of that over the years, haven't you?
Yeah.
People coming and going. Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's talk about biggest mistake or biggest regret. Have you got one of them in personal business life? What would you say?
I'd say biggest regret. It's a hard one.
Yeah. The thing is, a lot of people do say there's no regrets because they're all learning lessons and that kind of thing, which I get, but at the same time, is there anything like you kind of...
One of my biggest regrets is that I kind of wasted my 20s. When I say wasted my 20s...
We spoke about this a little bit before, haven't we?
Yeah, so wasted my 20s in the sense of when I see some 20-odd-year-olds now and what they're doing with their lives, and I'm like, that should have been me head screwed on. I think I was just in the wrong crowd at the time. And equally as well, if I did have my head screwed on in my 20s, I might not have met my wife now. Yeah. And my wife, I can honestly say, changed my life when I met her at 30. So
that's cool. Yeah.
That
exactly.
I suppose
you wouldn't change anything, would you?
Maybe financially, I wish I was better when I met her.
Yeah.
But kudos to her. She's stuck by me through thick and thin, and do you know what I mean?
So, that's cool, though, isn't it?
I'm here now because of her.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everything happens for a reason, isn't it? But like you say, if there's one thing, what would you do differently in your 20s then? Because I'm 28. I've still got a year and a bit left. So I need this advice ASAP.
So one thing I would probably say is if you've got ambitions in your 20s and your friends or circle of friends don't match those ambitions, I know this is going to sound really harsh, but you need new friends.
Yeah, because I think I've said to you in the past, isn't it? Like a lot of my friends now have got wives, kids, houses, dogs, that kind of thing, which I'm happy for them. But then for me, this is what makes me happy. Yeah. And say Yoni and my friend Henry and stuff, and they're focused on business and growth and that kind of thing. It's more motivating and inspiring for me to hang around.
These are your guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and when I speak to them, even though you can sell a banner and stuff, when you're talking about how to better yourself in your future and that kind of thing, and how to make money and
look at you like a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah. It's more exciting, turns me on, you know what I mean, and stuff. Yeah. I'm still friends with my friends, but that's for more enjoyment and entertainment and to switch off kind of thing, whereas
actual growth.
Yeah. And I think that's good advice, definitely. But for me, I say in the 20s, everyone's at different stages of their life. That's where I'm now. I'm some people are still partying, some people have got kids and settling down, some people have business or work and whatever. And it's just where do you place yourself? You know what I mean?
That's probably another thing as well. It's yes, go to parties, but there's still people that I know now where it's like, oh, we're on a weekend, come out. It's like, dude, really? Like, you're nearly 40. What are you doing?
Yeah. And I think there's a time and place, isn't there? Like birthdays, special occasions, I'll go out once in a while. If it's a good group, you're going out. But if you're going out every weekend, like a weekend warrior.
What age are you going to a club? What club's letting you in?
I know. It's
could be people's dads in there, you know? Like, you're the dad for people.
Yeah. So I think that goes back to, for me, nothing against like 9 to 5 and stuff, but these people working these jobs, look forward to the weekend warrior. Obviously, I personally don't drink. It's a choice to focus on myself, but a lot of people just, I think, drink, blackout, binge drinking, over the weekend, and then they go back to the Monday and they hate it, and then they repeat and cycle.
First, the payday comes, it's like
blow it all,
money.
Yeah.
Then Monday morning, and it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you do it for enjoyment, go for it, you know what I mean? All my friends drink, so I don't have a problem with that. But I think, that's just the culture, isn't it?
Is that blurred line of thinking they're doing it for enjoyment, but really it's masking that. Yeah. Maybe I should have achieved more by now.
And if you regret not doing something, like some people I know and friends are like, oh, I wish I did that when I was younger and didn't have the responsibilities, or I should have tried that for longer. And it's like, even though it's like a throwaway comment, you've obviously thought about that a lot, because when you say something out loud, you've thought about stuff a lot in your head, haven't you? So like you've thought about that a lot, and that's obviously got to you, to the point where you actually bring it out to fruition. So like, I just don't want to live with regret. And that's why I think in my 20s try and build a foundation. And then 30s is like for me when hopefully shit can get like proper. But
you're definitely at the like stage to have set all this.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like I wish I'd done all of this, but then like my wife said she'd done all of this, I'm not sure. So
yeah, the most important thing, definitely. And then what would you say your greatest strength is and your greatest weakness? I know you said you were going to struggle this one at the start, didn't you? People would always find
no weakness.
I
don't know.
What do you think you're not good at?
Trust. Like I tend to trust people a lot off the off.
Yeah.
Or instead of them earning my trust.
Yeah.
I like to just, here's my trust, just don't chip away at it.
That can be a good or a bad thing though, can't it? I think I'd be similar to you in that sense. Like I like to take people at face value. But you get a gut feeling of people, don't you, as well? If you meet
like the staff members I've had, I told them from the start, like, I trust you now.
Yeah.
You're not earning my trust, you have my trust. I'll back you always, whatever, but just don't fuck up.
Yeah.
And see how we go.
Yeah. I think just being straight to the point as well, isn't it? Not beating around the bush to say how it is. I think that's important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So that's a strength then,
What?
Or a weakness?
Say how it is.
No, I mean the trusting.
I think that's probably a weakness.
Yeah, what would you say your strength is? Oh, sorry, Colin.
It can be a weakness. I'll put it down as a weakness. Okay, because people then can abuse that trust.
A certain kind of person as well, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas, in terms of the strengths, just, kind of say it how it is. And
I think relationships, you're good at relationships, aren't you? Like, say, well, from me, outside looking in, from the people that you've built up over the last 20 years, there's a reason why they keep coming back. It's not just a coincidence they've followed you around the whole of London.
No, exactly. I tend to have a kind of like what you see is what you get.
I feel like you remember, well, even just with me, you ask little things like how we get on with the house or the car or the marathon and stuff like that, just showing a slight interest in it, like, goes a long way. So I'd probably like that with your clients as well. You're like, oh, how's your daughter or your dog or your holiday and that kind of thing. I don't know, but that's just what I think anyway.
Some clients don't even know their birthdays down in your diary, so it's like...
Yeah, exactly. Little things like that makes it...
like, oh, I was expecting everything.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks, mate.
No, that's cool.
Oh, what can I say?
There's a reason why I've asked you. So have you got any spare money lying around? Any birthday money?
Birthday money you get
That's funny. So right, where can people, any closing thoughts or anything like that? I know we've kind of gone over a little bit on time, but
thank you very much.
Yeah, where can people find you, follow you and that kind of thing? Get in contact.
So get into contact with me, so either through my website, tempuslord.com, or through Instagram at Tempus Lord, or the TikTok is also at Tempus Lord.
Yeah, good content on there as well.
Yeah, great content recently. Last couple of months.
Right, if everyone's watching on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe, comment your favourite part. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, make sure to follow the podcast and leave a 5-star review, and we'll see you next time. Bye.